over 5 billion organic sattvic vegetarian meals so far. Giving free food to all the citizens is the economic policy of Kailasa, deriving the references from Vedas and Agamas. Recently, the humanitarian initiative launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the opening of Kailasa's COVID care centers in India, where the monastic campuses have been turned into a multi-layer quarantine facility to safeguard the inmates against any possible point of contact with the outer world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened this service free to all people, regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, or socio-economic status. Food, shelter, internet, and all basic facilities, including medical care, are provided at these COVID care centers, free of cost and for an indefinite period of time. The outcome has been a splendid zero infection rate so far among the participants, and a feat not achieved anywhere else in the world, let alone in India. This response model of handling the COVID-19 pandemic at a community level, along with the guidelines and recommendations for governments, has been recognized and accepted by the United Nations as well. You can see some of the glimpses where the participants of COVID care program facilities are enjoying healthy, blissful spiritual lifestyle in multi-layered protection. They enjoy a stress-free time following a spiritual morning routine, doing yoga, daily puja, temple sevas, kara sevas, and celebrating festivals. Join the Kailasa's COVID care protection centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/kailasa Sorry for the technical glitch. On various occasions, Devi Parashakti revealed the importance and significance of joining the COVID care centers, especially Adi Kailas. On 5th July 2021, Devi revealed that taking the soil of Adi Kailas and mixing it with the water of Navapashana Linga of Vaidyasarovar and applying it, all pains will vanish, breaking the attachment to body. It will make you enlightened. Goodness is there. I told you, go to Adi Kailas. Close their borders during a massive global emergency. Kailasa has opened its door to all without exception. The various COVID care centers are Adi Kailas, Vidadi, Bangalore, Salem, Tirunamalai, Rajapalam, Pattanam, Srirangapadi, Madurai, Avatipalam, Huzur, all are from Tamil Nadu, Baroda Adinam in Gujarat, Sripuram Adinam from Hyderabad, and Puduvai Adinam from Pondicherry. Kailasa rushes to aid India as India finds itself on the verge of COVID-19 third wave. The multiple free COVID care centers open across India. Various social services offered during the pandemic in Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India. Spiritual services offered during the pandemic in Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India. Cosmic revelations on global pandemic. The free social services offered during the pandemic in de facto spiritual embassies across India are medical care, which includes allopathy, Ayurvedic, Siddha medicine, infrastructure to accommodate thousands, accommodation for multi-layered quarantine, emergency ambulances, ICU on wheels, personal protective medical equipment, food security management through food banks, organic farming. So join the Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Centers. Register now through the link below. https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. We are going to move on to the next part of our segment of our program after a very short break. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda, and welcome back to this segment where we'll be learning more about Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva and getting ready for the live darshan of Dayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan. So let us understand what is the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan. And Bhagavan Sundareshwara himself has beautifully explained. Manifest the super-conscious experience of the Shiva Sayujya Samadhi through the darshan of Idayanar Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva, and get ready for the rare and unique powerful initiation into God equation to make the human beings into multiverse species by Sundareshwara Paramashiva. Let us now watch this video where Bhagavan Sundareshwara himself has revealed this happening of the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan.
Shave, shave, shave. Paramashiva, I will manifest the physics of my existence. Cognize this in your Hridaya Akasha, in the Gandha. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Paramashiva. The countless, uncountable, by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get deluded inside me, gets liberated inside me. For all the countless Brahmandas to exist, to get created, changed, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated. I am the space.
Bhagavan Sundareshwara beautifully revealed in this darshan. He said, I will manifest the physics of my existence. You will experience my existence, Sundareshwara Paramashiva, the countless, uncountable by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get deluded inside me, gets liberated inside me. For all the countless Brahmandas to exist, to get created, to get sustained, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated, I am the. And let us now look at some of the existing conditions of our world today. According to the United Nations, a new scientific report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warns that we are on a crash course towards catastrophe if global temperatures are allowed to rise. The window to slow or even halt some of these worsening impacts is rapidly closing, and the message is clear: we must take action now. And with every half degree Celsius increase in global warming, we see how the world is headed towards a bigger catastrophe. With extreme weather, the risk of global warming by 2 degrees Celsius could lead to a 170% increase in flood risk, 180 and 18% of insects, 16% of plants, and 8% of vertebrates will be affected by the increase of 2 degrees Celsius in the global warming. The water availability, 410 million urban residents exposed to severe drought by 2100. And ice-free summers in the Arctic at least once in every 10 years is estimated. And 28% of the world's population, or about 2 billion people, will be exposed to extreme heat waves at least once every 20 years. And 49 million people are estimated to be impacted by sea level rise of 56 centimeters by 2100. And oceans, there are lower risks to marine biodiversity, ecosystems, and the ecological functions and services at global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to 2 degrees Celsius. With 2 degrees Celsius increase in global warming, virtually all coral reefs would be lost by the year 2100. And the economic costs of this global warming, it is projected that we'll have lower economic growth at 2 degrees Celsius than at 1.5 degrees Celsius for many countries, particularly the low-income countries. And for every half degree of warming will consistently lead to lower yields and lower nutritional content in tropical regions. So we see the various risks of global warming with every half degree Celsius increase in the global warming. The risks are multifold. And let us now watch a video from the United Nations which describes the state of our world today.
In 2019, fire was spreading throughout our planet, quite literally, in places like Australia and the Amazon basin, where forest blazes supercharged by climate change wreaked havoc. In other places, mass protests flared up, fueled by a combination of job insecurity, growing inequalities, and discontent with the current economic, social, and environmental status quo. The economy has slowed down globally, stifled by trade tensions and political uncertainty. The little growth we have had has failed to reach those who need it the most. Progress towards higher living standards has stalled for many countries and vulnerable groups of people. This has only deepened inequalities which were already growing in many countries, spurred on by automation, climate change, and other global trends.
And here are some of the pictures of the condition of our world today. And according to the World Health Organization, the total cases globally for COVID-19 is over 221 million to date. Healthline.com states that new COVID cases have risen to more than 150,000 per day in the United States, and experts emerging variants it could lead to another surge in cases. And it is during this time of crisis that Bhagavan Sundareshwara has come down to earth with such extreme compassion for humanity. He states, "O bound souls, listen intensely. Your impossibility and irresponsibility made you surrender yourself to the delusion. Cognize the ultimate truth. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. The moment you remember me, call me, I'm here for you." And Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva is the greatest and unique manifestation of Paramashiva as a complete manifestation. He assumes physical, subtle, light bodies as and when he wants, plays with all the physical reality and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in this physical plane as he likes without even a reason, just for fun. Sometimes they manifest as Meenakshi and Sundareshwara bodies, one being, sometimes as both in one body. That's the reason all his manifestation and plays are called Thiruvilayadal, Leela. And due to his causeless and limitless compassion, Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is manifesting in all his glory as Purnavatara through this being, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam as Nijavatara. And from the Shuddhadvaita Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi space, Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru will be manifesting, and through the supreme manifestation, Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru will be darshan, blessed and shower boons as Leela. And Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, as Swamiji, just to continue his legacy and Leela. To continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leela, performing miracles in the lives of his devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole of Madurai, Shamala Pita Sarvagnya Pita, as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, guiding the whole of humanity. And today, during the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan, when you witness the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, your neurons mirror that of the avatar. Mirror neurons activate and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing. That is, our entire body, silently and without movement, recreates what is happening distances far away, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. And as an effect of the mirroring neurons, all the powerful cognitions and powers of Bhagavan Sundareshwara are mirrored in you. So, what is the God equation Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva has revealed? Exhale intensely whatever you have, Paramashiva will inhale in you. This is the God equation. Nothing is more powerful than power manifestation science. It is the most exciting spiritual science. When you decide to manifest powers again and again and again, you know Paramashiva is within you and he is manifesting. You fall in love with Paramashiva every minute. If he manifests, you know he is real and he is manifesting. Even if you don't manifest what you declared, you will manifest the jnana and vijnana, the knowledge and understanding. Possibilities and powers of Paramashiva will manifest in all of you now. And let us now understand who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, who is giving us this beautiful and powerful science of the power manifestation and leading humanity to a superconscious breakthrough. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shamalapita Sarvagyapitam. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam is the reviver of Kailasa, a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities a lifestyle for humanity. Supreme Pontiff is ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, the Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvanyapitam, the Tundai Mandaladina. He is the incumbent emperor of Suryavamshi Surangi Samrajyam. He is the present 293rd, the Pontiff of Kailasonatha Shamalapita Sarvanyapitam. And he is also the present Mahamandaleshwar, the supreme spiritual head of Mahanirvani Akhada, the largest apex monastic order. Here you can see the pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, the Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvanyapitam, the Tundai Mandaladina. And here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamsha Surangi Samrajyam, offering the various rituals, performing the various rituals and consecration of the deities in the Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Sarvanyapitam. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being coronation as the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamsha Surangi Samrajyam. Here are a few pictures of the present 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, the Pontiff of the Kailasonatha Shamalapita Sarvanyapitam, being coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai, the oldest Hindu papal state and a monastic kingdom, at the age of 34 in the year 2012. And you can also see the pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism assuming the responsibilities as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai, Shamalapita Sarvagyapitam. And here you can see a few more pictures of the present Mahamandaleshwar, the supreme spiritual head of Mahanirvani Akhada, the largest apex monastic order, being honored and revered during the Kumbh Mela by all the leaders, the Mandaleshwars, the Mahamandaleshwars, and the various leaders of the Akhadas in Kumbh Mela. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, the head of all spiritual leaders of Atal Akhada, the ancient epics body of Hinduism. He is the present 23rd Guru Mahasanidhanam of the Dharmamukti Swargapuram Madhyamam. He is elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders and pontiffs. And here you can see a few more pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with leaders of the Akhada and with his Balasansan Nithyananda Gurukul and his initiated sannyasis. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is revered as the teacher of Hinduism, the most prolific, most viewed, read and watched. He has authored over 300 books and over 10,000 articles in 3 languages, English, Tamil and Sanskrit, which have been translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. Over 20 million copies of books and articles have been sold, read and downloaded. Over 10,000 hours of discourses have been uploaded in the YouTube channel. He has enriched and enriched over 1 billion lives digitally. He is respected as the commentator of all the sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Brahma Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, Jain Sutras, etc. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is honored as the leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader, reviver of the 108 ancient Hindu sampradayas, including the Rudrakanyas, Rudras, Rishis, Rishikas, Bhairavas, Bhairavis, Sannyasis, establisher of the largest Hindu university, the Kailasas Nithyananda Hindu University, in the world with satellite campuses in over 150 countries, establisher of the 1,000 plus Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems, founder and reviver of over 100 Sarvagna collector of the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. And here you can see a depiction of the various spiritual de facto embassies of Kailasa, which have been established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So he has established over 22 Hindu universities, 186 extended campuses of the Nithyananda Hindu University, 242 Nithyananda Gurukuls, and 22 Nithyananda Jnanalayas, the libraries, 38 temple monastery complexes, 2,175 Paramashivasena shakas, 1,898 youth centers, 19 kingdoms or Sarvagya Peethas, 25 e-Kailasas, 1,898 ASP centers, 120 temples, 5,334 healing centers, 22 food banks, 12 animal shelters, 34 satsang temples, 418 Paduka mandirs, and 2,175 satsang centers. And all of these spiritual embassies of Kailasa have been established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in just the past few decades. And here is a depiction, Here is a pictorial depiction of the peace walks of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which have covered over 100,000 kilometers and have gifted the science of spiritual healing to over 2 million human settlement thus far. So this picture represents the peace walks, the Padayatras from the year 2000 onwards, and the Padayatra in the year 2000, which covered over 15,000 kilometers. The World Tour Yatra, which covered over 4,000 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra, which covered more than 5,060 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra again in 2005, which covered over 7,000 kilometers. The Kodikanda Yatra, which covered 960 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra which covered 6,000 kilometers. The Cambodia Yatra, which covered over 1,000 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra, which covered 6,000 kilometers. And the Kodikanda Yatra again, which covered kilometers. And another Himalaya Yatra, which covered over 5,608 kilometers. And the Himalaya Yatra in 2010, which covered over 4,580 kilometers. The Tiruvannamalai Yatra, which covered 300 kilometers. The Kailash Yatra, which covered over 600 kilometers. The India Tour Yatra, which covered over 5,000 kilometers. The Bali Yatra, which covered over 1,000 kilometers, and many more. And the Vijay Yatra, which covered 300 kilometers. So the various Padayatras, the peace walks undertaken by the Supreme 300 kilometers. So the various Padayatras, the peace walks undertaken by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, which have covered over 100,000 kilometers thus far, and gifted this science of spiritual healing to more than 2 million human settlement. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has described Bhagavan Sundareshwara, Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu, is the manifestation of the beauty of cosmos in flesh and bones. Irenar Sundareshwara is the embodiment of super consciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu, as the complete manifestation of Paramashiva, assumes the physical, subtle, light bodies as and when he wants as his divine manifestation. He plays with all the physical reality and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in this physical plane as he likes without even a reason. Irenar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu is the greatest, unique and complete manifestation of Paramashiva. Sundareshwara is the embodiment of super consciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. He came down as the most handsome form to marry Devi Meenakshi and administer the city of Madurai. The kingdom of Madurai, known as the oldest Hindu papal state, an enlightenment ecosystem which was established by Paramashiva. The kingdom of Madurai was later revived by Lord Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who, as they and to ensure that this tradition continues and continues to elevate humanity for millennia, They enthroned their direct representatives and their divine energies in the form of the continuing lineage of living masters, the Guru Mahasannidhanams, with the responsibility to train and groom the kings in administration, constitution, and governance, acting as regent. They also performed the spiritual initiations on the kings and the citizens of the kingdom, imparting the enlightenment science to them. And this verse describes the Guru Parampara, the tradition of the lineage of living masters. It says, Guru Paramparayatam Adrishtam Sarvavadibihi Bhavabandha Vimokshatham Paramam Sarvatomukham. And it is described that the supreme discipline of Adishaiva tradition has been coming down through the continuous lineage of the Guru disciple, the Adishaiva Guru Parampara, from time immemorial. This has been formulated for the attainment of the complete liberation from the repeated phenomenon of birth and death. And this is supreme in its kind and concerned with the ultimate benefit of all the souls. And here you can see the pictures of Devi Meenakshi, Bhagwan Sundareshwara, and Tirudhyana Sambandar, who were the Devi Meenakshi and Lord Bhagwan Sundareshwara, who were the first who established the Kailash on Shamalapita Sagarnipita, and Tirudhyana Sambandar, their direct representative. And also the pictures of the 288th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sagarnipita, Srila Shri Arumuga Shri Swamigal, the 289th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sagarnipita, Rao Bahadur Srila Shri Swaminatha Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, the 290th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sagarnipitam, Srila Shri Swaminatha Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, and the 291st Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sagarnipitam, Srila Shri Somasundara Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. And now, Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam's rare and sacred lineage of pontiffs has been systematically carried over in an unbroken progression from the ages, with chosen emissaries of Lord Paramashiva and Devi, the Guru Mahasannidhanams, the pontiffs of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, are the direct representatives of the cosmos. And we have here a picture of the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, Srila Shri Arunagirinath Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. And now the present 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, Bhagwan Shri Srila Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. On the 27th of April 2012, Srila Shri Nithyananda Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal was formally appointed as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, and is the lawful successor, descendant, and inheritor, invested with all the powers, duties, obligations to perform the rituals, spiritual, religious, and customary rites vested in the Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, has been reviving its spiritual, religious, and linguistic epicenters to its original glory. And let us now watch a video of the history of the Kailaswanatha Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, Madurai Adinam, the world's oldest Hindu establishment.
The ancient temple town of Madurai in southern India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality.
Nithyananda. We apologize for the technical glitch. Let us now continue to watch the video of the history of Kailasam of the Shamala Peter Satvagnya Peter, the Madurai Avinam, the world's oldest Hindu establishment.
The ancient temple town of Madurai in southern India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality. Historians trace Madurai's existence back to the 3rd century BC. Inhabited cities of the world. Legend says that Madurai was established by the cosmic mother herself, who incarnated as Princess Meenakshi, daughter of the pious king Malayadwaja Pandya, an able queen and a fearless warrior. Meenakshi expanded her empire right up to Kailash in current China. But when she came face to face with the Lord of Kailash, Shiva himself, she recognized him as her eternal consort and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of Jainism as a religious force, Madurai too fell to its powerful influence, and Shaivism all but vanished from the sacred kingdom where Shiva himself had once walked the earth. The renaissance of Shaivism in Madurai was the sacred task of a child incarnation, Tirunjana Sambandar, one of the 4 visionary saints of Shaiva Siddhanta tradition. The story goes that as a baby, Tirunjana Sambandar was once nourished by the milk of enlightenment from the cosmic mother herself. This child prodigy arrived in Madurai to effortlessly defeat the learned Jain monk. The ancient temple town of Madurai in southern India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality. Historians trace Madurai's existence back to the 3rd century BC, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world. Legend says that Madurai was established by the cosmic mother herself, who incarnated as Princess Meenakshi, daughter of the pious king Malayadwaja Pandya, an able queen and a fearless warrior. Meenakshi expanded her empire right up to Kailash in current China. But when she came face to face with the Lord of Kailash, Shiva himself, she recognized him as her eternal consort and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of
We apologize for the technical glitch. We'll continue to watch this video on the Madurai Adinam, the history of Madurai Adinam, the world's oldest Hindu establishment.
Jain monks with his wisdom, healing powers, and spiritual prowess, and restored Madurai to her beloved religion, Shaivism, by reviving the ancient Madurai Adinam and the Meenakshi temple, which had fallen to desolate ruin. Madurai Adinam is today the world's oldest living Hindu organization, with a recorded history alone spanning a glorious 1,500 years and an unbroken lineage of illustrious pontiffs to this very day. Over the centuries, Madurai Adinam has been patronized by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Robert Nobili, and the poet saint Vallalar. The pontiff of the Madurai Adinam is known by the title Guru Mahasannidhanam and inherits the responsibility of carrying forward the traditions of Tirunjana Sambandar's sacred work.
On 27th April 2012, a new era began in the history of Madurai Adinam. The 292nd Pontiff, Srila Sri Arunagirinatha Jnana Sambandha Desika Paramacharya Swamigal, guided by intuition and inducement by Lord Shiva, coronated a charismatic young saint as the 293rd Pontiff of the Madurai Adinam.
An accomplished yogi, a pragmatic social visionary, and an adept in mystical sciences. His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda is revered as a divine incarnation by millions. Weeks of his ascent to the sacred throne, he brought about sweeping changes to the Adinam, including the renovation of the ancient monastery, Annadan, free food for thousands every day, free medical camps, yoga classes, scriptural study, spiritual healing, and meditation programs. The traditional Adinam now has a website, and thousands participate in the morning worship and spiritual talks via live streaming and two-way video conferencing. Vast properties belonging to the Adinam are being reclaimed from illegal encroachment. Its numerous temples are being restored to sanctity. Basic amenities, education and medical care being provided for all. His Holiness dreams of an authentic Vedic Renaissance for which India has already waited to
We will fulfill all the responsibilities of Madurai Adinam, make Hindu tradition, Saiva tradition alive, revived, lived, celebrated all over the world.
With a brand new pontiff at its helm, Madurai Adinam promises to be more than just another traditional monastery. As a whole generation turns to spirituality for answers, the changes at Madurai Adinam mirror the changing role of spiritual organizations today as power centers and guiding forces, forging the enlightened government of the new world.
And today, for all of humanity, audience of people on planet Earth, we are the most blessed people. For us, Sundareshwara is not a history, he is a happening. Sundareshwara Paramashiva has himself come down again in the form of the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. As Swamiji, the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, to revive Hinduism and to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leela, performing miracles in the lives of his devotees, attending to our prayers and continuing the legacy of the whole of Madurai, Shamala Pita Sarvagni 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, and as a supreme fount of Hinduism, guiding the whole of humanity. And it is described in the Shiva Leelarnava that Paramashiva assumed the physical body 11 times in Madurai just to perform his divine Leelas, and each action of the divine, the energy becomes an independent entity, and if you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. Understand, Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, faithfulness. And now, let us look at the Leela of healing the Pandyan king's fever. Sundareshwara Paramashiva's Leela of healing the Pandyan king's fever, also known as the Pandyanikku Juram Tirtha Kadal. And here you can see the pictorial depiction of the various Leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, the 64 divine Leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara as documented. And in the Tiruvilayadal Puranam, which is a collection of 64 16th century Shaivite devotional epic stories by Paranjoti Muniva, it describes the action of Bhagavan Paramashiva on earth in a number of disguises to test his devotees, and so each of Sundareshwara's dimensions are recorded as his one Leela. In the Vedic tradition, we have 64 different arts. Each leader, a complete being, has to master the 64 arts, and in that even horse riding is one, astrology, horse riding, the mastery in medicine, the mastery in surgery, the mastery in painting, the mastery of dance. Each Leela of Sundareshwara proves his mastery on each art. There was never ever such an amazing imagination or visualization of the ultimate without reducing its Ananta Kalyana Gunas into the human level. And in this video, Swamiji describes the Shiva Leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and this video is also uploaded on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/nithyananda.tv. So we request each one of you to watch this video where Swamiji beautifully describes the Leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara. And let us now also look at the Nayanmars, the Shaiva saints. So who are the Nayanmars? The Nayanars or the Nayanmars were a group of 63 saints living in Tamil Nadu during the 3rd to the 8th century CE who were devoted to Paramashiva. The list of Nayanmars was initially compiled by Sundarar or Sundaramurti Nayanar. In his poem Tirutondatogai, he sings in 11 verses the names of the Nayanar saints up to Karaikal Ammayar and refers to himself as the servant of servants. The list goes into the detail of the lives of the saints, which were described in detail in works such as Devaram. And as described in the Shiva Leelarnava, Paramashiva assumed the physical body 11 times in Madurai just to perform his divine leelas. Each action the divine performs the energy becomes an independent entity, and if you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. Understand, Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness, and the best way to connect with Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva is through Leela Dhyana. Today, let us meditate on the 62nd Leela from the Shiva Leela Arnava, Pandyanikku Jwaram Tirtha Padalam, the Leela of healing the Pandya king's fever. And the verses from the Shiva Leela Arnava describe this incident, this Leela. It says, in the clan of the Arimarthana Pandya king, a king who was known for his magnanimity and who stood tall due to his widespread fame, was born black. Hence, people called him as Kun Pandyan, the Pandya king with the hunchback. And though the king Kun Pandyan took birth in the Pandya clan, which had deep devotion for Paramashiva, due to the ill effect of his long association with Samanas, the people who used misunderstood ideas of Jainism to spread violence, he had not only fallen in their trap but had received the initiation too. What to do? It is difficult to revert from the association with the wicked people. And in a clan consisting of great devotees of Paramashiva, which was quite sincere and integrated in observing the truths revealed in Vedas and performing the duties prescribed in the Vedas without any hindrance, a boy named Jnana Sambandar was born. Goddess Parvati herself protected the child by feeding her breast milk, who was once struggling without his biological mother. And after this incident, people addressed the child as Jnana Sambandhan or Jnana Puranan, as the child got enlightened in the early childhood itself by the grace of Goddess Parvati. The child, who was the pride of the Brahmin community, was the reincarnation of Lord Muruga, and during childhood itself, he learnt all the scriptures and keeping the Upanishads, the Hindu scriptures which reveal the underlying truths, as the testimony, he clearly explained the supremacy of Bhagavan Paramashiva. And Jnana Sambandar, being the embodiment of tattvas like sacred ash, Rudraksha, the Shadakshara mantra, Sharavana Bhava of Lord Muruga, was considered an enlightened being, and some people worshipped him as a result of their good deeds in past births and won over the evil attacks of the Kali Yuga. And while the king Kun Pandya's clan was surrounded by the harmful darkness of ignorance due to the preaching of the Samanar Acharyas, the queen and the minister remained deeply devoted to Paramashiva, who adorned his matted locks with the crescent moon. Both the queen and the minister, who had incomparable and deep devotion at the lotus feet of Jnana Sambandar, explained to him about the position of the king and tried to save the king, who was drowned in the heat of the dilapidated well, which is the deep ignorance. And once King Kun Pandyan was attacked by extremely high fever and was struggling, and all the efforts taken by the Samanar Acharyas of the king to heal the king were unsuccessful. At that time, for the sake of the king's health, the queen herself very much pleaded with Jnana Sambandar, the enlightened master. The enlightened master Jnana Sambandar, while entering the king's palace, remembered the form of Lord Shiva, who always remains cool due to the oozing out of the nectar from the crescent moon, adorning his crown, and meditated upon the sacred truth, Shivoham, I am Shiva, in his inner space for a moment, and looked at the king who was affected by the heat of the high fever. He showered his grace on the king through his eyes. Saint Jnana Samandar, who was established in the state of enlightenment which is beyond all the rules and regulations of the ashrama dharma, the duties of the four stages of life as per Sanatana Dharma, smeared the sacred ash on the forehead of the king as a result of the good deeds performed by the king in his previous births. He also applied the sacred ash on the chest of the king with his right hand, which had worshipped the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Paramashiva. And while applying the sacred ash, Jnana Sambandar also sang the divine and healing verse, Irunitripadikam. On receiving the sacred touch of the divine hands of Jnana Sambandar, which is described in the Rudram, the Vedic chant of Bhagwan Paramashiva, as the most auspicious, the most holy, and the healing medicine of the three worlds, the king got rid of the high fever instantly. And as the heat existing in the stomach, which was spreading all over the body, the king was suffering. When the king got rid of that suffering, he became very happy. The queen too became happy about the complete healing of the king. She rejoiced that not only the physical heat of the king got healed, but the religious heat of the Samana, the people who used misunderstood ideas of Jainism to spread violence, was also put off in the king's life. The physical heat which got removed from the king's body by the graceful eyes of Jnana Sambandar got doubly evolved in the hearts of the Jain monks. And 80,000 Jain monks were living in the 8 mountains all over the earth. They were adept in many various forms of pranayama. When they got defeated by Jnana Sambandar, while curing the physical illness of the king, the wandering devotee of Lord Shiva, they decided to win over him by debating with him. Hence, all of them gathered in Madurai. Jnana Sambandar was an expert in various fields like Vyakarana, Mimamsha, Tarka, and was well versed in the philosophies of Upanishads. The moment the Jain monks approached him to start their debate, they got stuck mentally and became speechless. Vedic religion is proved categorically right by the justifications of the philosophies like Mimamsha Shastra and is well established by the enquiries of the Tarka Shastra. Leaving aside all the valuable justifications, the Jain monks wanted to win over Jnana Sambandar just by their mere faith. Yes, and as we continue to understand the story, the Poon, which means the bent bank in Tamil, the Poon Pandyan, the great king who had conquered the Chera and the Chola kings, married Mangayar Karasi, the daughter of the Cholan. Pandyan was deeply involved in the Jain religion and spoke low of Shaiva traditions. Mangayar Karasi, a great lady, a woman of stature of the sage, was a Shaivite, and during this period, people belonging to the Jain sect, the Samana Madam in Tamil, entered into Madurai and settled down there, and King Nedumaran got attracted towards the Jain sect. He announced an order that all his citizens should follow the Jain sect. This gave a shock to his wife and the minister Pulachiraya, but they did not have the courage to talk to him on this matter talk to the king on this matter, and people were afraid to come to the Meenakshi temple. The Queen Mangair Karasi decided to pray to Bhagwan Sundareshwarar and talk to him on this worst state of affairs. She took the minister Kulachirayar along with her to the temple and prayed to Paramashiva. At that moment, a Brahmin came inside the shrine. The Brahmin saluted the king and said, "O Queen, I am residing in the Chola country. I am on my visit to various divine places and I came here thinking of worshipping Bhagwan Sundareshwarar of Madurai. I inquired with the people here as to why no one is there in this temple. I became sad on hearing that the citizens are following the Jain sect and hence no one is visiting this temple." The queen immediately wrote a letter and said, "O Brahmin, somehow or the other, please hand this over to Jnana Sambandar. Ask him to visit Madurai." The Brahmin, who came to know that Jnana Sambandar is staying at Vedaranyam, which is Tirumaraikadu, he went there. And immediately after reading the manuscript, Jnana Sambandar decided to visit Madurai. Tirunavukkarasar said to him, "Oh Lord, you may not be knowing the Jains. I, the one who was affected by them, know about Jainism. Further, the planetary positions are not conducive for journey. We should stay." And to this, Jnana Sambandar replied to him, "O Lord, we are the slaves of Paramashiva. When Paramashiva is there behind us, what can these planets do?" And then he immediately sang the song, "Veyuru Tholi Pangan, Vidamunda Kandan, Nalla Veenai Tadavi." And even today, those who feel that they will be affected by the adverse positions of planets in their birth chart sing this song. And without bothering about the planet, Jnana Sambandar immediately left for Madurai. Mangayar Karasi felt very happy on the arrival of Jnana Sambandar. The Jains got angry and decided to burn the house to kill Jnana Sambandar. Jnana Sambandar got infuriated and he immediately sang a collection of songs, the Padikam, beginning with the lines, "Cheyanne Thiru Alavai Meviya." Jnana Sambandar then went to see the Pandya king. On hearing this, the Jains told the king, "Oh king, this Sambandar will not be able to cure this disease. We will cure it now in just 5 minutes." The king shouted, "Oh Jains, just remain aloof. Let Sambandar alone give me the treatment." Sambandar said, "I do not want any other thing. Just bring some ash from the kitchen of the temple." The ash was brought. Then Tirujnana Sambandar, making the king understand that your consciousness does not need to shrink. Because of this idea, everything is going to become ash. Listen, but your consciousness is beyond anything you see, and initiating him into this tattva of life and giving the sacred ash as a prasada. When the tattva, the principle, started spreading and expanding in Pandyan's consciousness, the shrinking body stood up. The hunchback was cured and he expanded and became Nindusir Nedumaran Nayanar. And today, Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down as the supreme fount of Hinduism. So let us now get ready to receive the Sayujya Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva, and let us learn more about the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan as we get ready to receive the darshan and blessings of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva. Now, let us get ready for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, the Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan, Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and let us understand the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. The Bhava Samadhi Darshan is not an event in space and time, rather, darshan happens at the moment when we are lifted out of space and time. Bhava is defined as directing and activating the emotional and spiritual energy that is created through the meditation on the avatar. And during the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our neurons mirror that of the avatar. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, has elaborately explained the science of neurons, and we invite each one of you to watch this video on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nithyananda. And please watch this video where Swamiji has elaborately explained the science of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. The mirror neurons activate and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing and without the physical act of imitation. That is, our entire body silently and without movement recreates what is happening distances far away, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. The science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan knows no distance, a phenomenon modern science is just discovering and terms as quantum tunneling. Our thoughts per second reduce significantly. Our thoughts per second reduce significantly and we relax into the space beyond thoughtlessness, becoming mentally at ease in coexisting dimensions beyond reality. We and the divine become one, unconditioned by the parameters of time and space. So let us understand further the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. And Bhagavan Krishna has also described the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. When Krishna once saw his own extraordinary sweetness reflected in a jeweled wall, he was amazed and said, "How unprecedented and astonishing is this deep and indescribable sweetness of mine. Alas, when I see it, even I become greedy to enjoy its sweetness, just like Radhika. When I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it, but I can't. And after due consideration, I find that the only way to relish the sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika." And Bhava Samadhi Darshan is the science of the Nijavatara manifesting Paramashiva consciousness. Paramashiva, the consciousness, the formless, expresses the being of Paramashiva through the Divya Sharira, the light body, and manifests as Nijavatara, the physical form or the embodied form for us to experience Paramashiva. Devi Parashakti expresses through the being of Rajarajeshwari and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form, Devi Meenakshi. And Bhagavan Paramashiva expresses through the being and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form. Bhagavan Paramashiva expresses the being of Padmanabhi Yogeshwara and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Avatara, the physical form of Bhagavan Krishna. The Archavatara, the deity, reflects the consciousness and manifestation, the being of the superconscious energy. But human beings are not mature enough to receive the higher level experiences from the Archavatara directly. The avatar, the physical embodied form, comes down to bridge the gap and create the experience of superconscious energy in all of us. And when we have the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of the Nija Avatara, manifesting beings of various dimensions of Paramashiva, the auspicious components and the powerfulness of those dimensions of Paramashiva are awakened in us. The dimension of Paramashiva manifesting in the Nijavatara for us to experience the same is Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Bhava Samadhi Darshan is the direct experience of causeless bliss. And during Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our being comes alive and celebrates with the energy wave of existence. Our very muscles learn to imbibe and radiate Paramashiva. And the Bhava Samadhi Darshan is like a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness, allowing us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand. And even without much effort from our side, our very biomemory awakens to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness during Bhava Samadhi Darshan. To have a glimpse of having darshan of an avatar cleanses the karmas of lifetimes and creates a deep and lasting transformation in us. Gratitude enables the reflection of consciousness on all levels, the physical, psychological, and ultimately conscious level. Darshan meditation as a preparation helps us to fall into the space of gratitude, and it is during that time we drop the conscious resolutions, the Satya Sankalpa, of anything we want or need in our life, and be ready to reflect on the consciousness of Paramashiva. That is all that you need to manifest the best for your life and the lives of people around you. And let us understand the right context to receive the darshan. Hold on to this, understanding this context, that I know you are the source of everything. Paramashiva, you are the source of everything. You are everything, and you are in the embodied form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Paramashivam, and you are in this body also. You are the source for both. Let me connect with you. Let you reveal yourself to me. Let me be in the Bhava Samadhi of you. So now, let us get ready to receive the live darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva. Get ready with the Panchopachara Puja items, and as we receive the darshan of Bhagavan Paramashiva, let us prepare to receive the live Sayujya Samadhi darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara. You can keep ready a sandalwood paste, a powder, flowers, incense, lamp, and Naivedyam, food offering, and let us prepare for the darshan.
Nithyananda. We welcome back all the viewers, and now as all of us are setting up our Panchopachara Puja kit for getting ready to receive the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, We will all now be entering into the Paramashiva Dhyana mantra as part of our preparation to receive the darshan, the diksha, the initiation from Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself. The Paramashiva Dhyana mantra has been blessed for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as a diksha, initiation that transmits the energy, experience, and extraordinary shaktis in the form of mantras. Just like how an avatar births himself has and transmits his shaktis and energy through just by a look through the Nayana Diksha, or just like how an avatar initiates by a touch the Sparsha Diksha, similarly, an avatar births himself as mantra and transmits his energy, experience, shaktis, and powers to the devotees in the form of mantras. And that is the Paramashiva Dhyana mantra. And anyone to whom this mantra is chanted from the space of oneness and deep restful awareness, that person is bestowed with health and well-being, wealth, abundance and prosperity, love and fulfilling relationships, enormous growth and success in business, job and finances, a blissful life manifests in a complete and a fulfilled life manifests without any types of doshas, sins, evil eyes, or obstacles, leading to a long, healthy, and a blissful life. Sorry for the technical glitch. With the grace and blessings of Kailasa's Department of Human Services and Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship, today we are offering the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra prayer service on behalf of each and every one of you with the grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And we will be offering the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra prayer service wherein our Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu on behalf of each and every one of you for the healing of health issues, for the healing of psychological stress and anxiety, for you to be healed out of all your addictions, for you to move out of depression, move out of your pain patterns, improve career, for you to heal relationships, for you to have breakthrough in wealth dimension, for all those, for all the children who are orphaned during the pandemic to be protected, for the Atma Shanti of each and every being that is affected due to the natural calamities like the floods and tsunamis, earthquakes, and forest fires that's happening all across the globe, and for the healing and protection of all those who are affected due to the pandemic, warfare, and man-made calamities, for protection from lost wages and income, for solution to any problem, breakthrough in creativity, increase inspiration, moving out of debts, for you to experience increased energy and vitality, for each and every one of you to experience a complete fulfillment and healing from all your insecurities, for you to have protection from direct or indirect effects of the pandemic, for the leadership consciousness to be awakened in you, healing from any genetic or inherited disorder, experience of completion in muscle memory and biomemory. And we also offer our prayers to Sundareshwara Parameshwara Paramburu for him to manifest and bless each and every one of you, answer your prayers and manifest the dreams in your life, for him to shower his grace, blessings, and protection, the powerful cognitions and powers in you, for you to have a completely protected, safe life, for you to manifest the future that you want, that you will. And for each and every one of us to experience the intense Guru Bhakti in our inner space and have the feeling connection towards Nija Avatara, the embodied form of Hiranna Sundareshwara Parameshwara Parampuru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And let us all now enter the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra. Please stay straight, the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And we'll be giving a pause during the Dhyana Mantra, the gap, for all of you to chant your respective names and names of your near and dear ones. You can chant the names of male and female bodies separately in the respective pauses, so that the benefits of what the mantra is being chanted for directly reaches you and those names that you chant. Now let's enter into the Paramashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Ham Hum Shivaya Namaha. Om Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavadhitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. I surrender to that Sadguru who is eternal bliss, the bestower of supreme happiness, the one whose embodiment of wisdom, who is beyond duality, who is omnipresent, to whom the supreme goal is giving the enlightenment experience, who is eternal, pure and unshakable, who is a silent spectator of all thought processes, who is beyond any emotions, who is without the three qualities called Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. When you make a conscious resolution in front of the avatar, the power of Sankalpa itself will deliver the experience and manifest your reality. Om Mamopata Samasta Dhritakshaya Dvara Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartham. I am taking this conscious resolution today for destroying all my karmas and sins, and in order to please Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Asya Devadevasya Mahadevasya Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakasya. Who is the God of all gods? Who is the greatest of gods? The Lord of universes and multiverses. Who is the Lord of the cosmos? Sakala Jagat Srishti Sthiti Samhara Tiro Bhavanugrahakya Panchakritya Parayanasya. The one who does the cosmic actions of creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, revolution, and liberation. Adi Madhyantaraitasya Prameya Parakramasya Tattvartha Gocharasya. The one who is the beginning, middle, and end. The one who is immeasurable. Akaro Karam Akaratmaka Pranavatmakasya Vrishabharudasya Mahadevasya Kamikadivatulanta Mahadantrakya Shaivagamaswarupasya Sakala Nigamagaswarupasya Shuddhadvaita Shaivaswarupasya Nithyananda Padastasya Nithyananda Swarupasya Shuddha Sachidananda Vigrahasya Rupa Rupatitasya Sakala Nishkala Swarupasya Nithya Niranjana Gramaya Nirvikara Akhanda Visheshanasya Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasya Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Avatara Bhutasya Sarvadeva Devi Sarupasya Bhagavataha Shri Nithyananda Paramashivasya Cha Prityartham Shubhe Shobhane Muhurte Adya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Pararte Shri Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaivasvatamanvantare Ashtavinchati Tame Nitya Yuge Prathame Pade Jambo Dvipe Bharata Varshe Bharatat Khande Meroho Dakshine Parshve Shakabde Asmin Vartamane Vyavaharike Prabhavadinam Shashtyaha Samvatsaranam Madhye Shubhanama Samvatsare Shubhayane Shubharatau Shubhamase Shubhapakshe Shubhatitau Shubhavasarayuktayam Shubhanakshatra Shubhayoga Shubhakarna Eva Guna Visheshana Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhaditau. During this auspicious time, during the second half of the lifetime of Lord Brahma, during the Kalpa called Shvetavaraha, during the regime of Vaivasvata Manu, the first quarter of the Yuga called Nitya Yuga, in the island called Jambu, in the continent called Bharata Varsha, the Indian subcontinent called Bharata Khanda, in the southern side of the Mount Meru, in the Shaka era, during the auspicious year, which is one of the set of 60 years of which is the practice of which Prabhupada is the first year, in the auspicious Ayana, in the auspicious season, in the auspicious one, in the auspicious Paksha, on the auspicious day, on the auspicious day, during the auspicious Nakshatra, auspicious Yoga, auspicious Karana, during such an auspicious moment, Adi Kailase, Kalpa Vrikshasya Daha, Nithyananda Nagare, Smrita Smritana, Muktigayake, Mahakshetre. Now we request all the participants, do you offering this mantra for yourself or for someone else? If you are offering for a male, kindly chant all the male names now. Namadheyasya. Now we request all the participants. So you're offering this mantra for yourself or for someone else. If you're offering for a female, kindly chant the female names now. Namnyaha cha yajamana namavayoho sahakutumbanam bandhuvarganam dayadivarganam mitravarganam sodaravarganam samesham. For all those who are participants who send me with their families, relatives, inheritors, friends, brothers and everyone, सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वमङ्गलवाप्त्यर्थं उत्तरोत्तरः छिन्न स्थिरलक्ष्मी प्राप्त्यर्थं
Always let there be all types of good and auspiciousness. Always let there be unbroken flow and steady flow of abundance, prosperity and wealth.
कुटुम्बे सर्वेषां सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं चिन्तितमनोरथावाप्त्यर्थं. Let the family always have all kinds of auspiciousness. Anything which is fulfilled be, anything which is desired be fulfilled.
समेषामाभिव्याधिनिवृत्त्यर्थं समेषां शिरादिपादपर्यन्तं विद्यमानानां समेषु अङ्गेषु जनितजनिष्यमान सकलविध नानाविधरोगाणां व्यपोहार्थं तद्वारा रोगदृढगात्रवपुसिद्ध्यर्थं. Let all the chronic diseases be healed. Let all kinds of diseases and disorders in the body starting from head till toe which has occurred or which is yet to occur in various parts of the body be healed. Let a strong, diseaseless, healthy, handsome and graceful body be obtained. Samesham paraikatrbhishcha kritakarishyaman sakalavidha mantra tantra yantra विषचूर्णाभिचार स्तंभन मारण उच्चाटन विद्वेषण वशीकरणादि मांत्रिक प्रयोगेभ्यः रक्षण प्राप्त्यर्थं तद्वारा समेषां सर्वाभीष्ट सिद्ध्यर्थं. Let the protection be obtained from all evil effects of acts performed by people either in the past or yet to be performed in the future through the use of mantras, tantras, yantras, poisonous pills, employing pills for malevolent purposes like making a person immobile, killing a person through vomiting, diarrhea, upsetting urinary health, poisoning, hypnotizing, etc. Apamrityu dosha nivrityartham, kala mrityu, akala mrityu, durmrityu nivrityartham. Let all the doshas or ill effects related to death like destined death, unnatural death, fatal death be removed. समेषाम् अंतर्दृष्टि, बहिर्दृष्टि, क्रूरदृष्टि, व्यापारदृष्टि, अनुकूलदृष्टि, प्रतिकूलदृष्टि इत्यादि सकलविध दृष्टदोषनिवृत्त्यर्थं. Let all the effects of evil eyes from known and unknown sources, effects of cruelty filled eyes, evil eyes of business enemies, effects of evil eyes of people who may project as if they are well wishers, and effects of evil eyes of people who are against our well-being be removed. समेषाम् अंतःशत्रु, बहिःशत्रु, क्रूरशत्रु, व्यापारशत्रु, अनुकूलशत्रु, प्रतिकूलशत्रु इत्यादि सकलविध शत्रुबाधा निवृत्त्यर्थं. Let all the effects of inner enemies, outer enemies, fears enemies, business enemies, enemies who project themselves as good, enemies who work against our well-being be removed. समेषां मातृशापादि सकलविध शापानां व्यपोहनार्थं. Let the effects of all the curses right from the mother be removed. अनादि अविद्यावासनया प्रवर्तमाने अस्मिन् महति संसार चक्रे विचित्राभिः कर्मगतिभिः विचित्रासु योनिषु पुनः पुनः अनेकधा जनित्वा. From time immemorial, due to ignorance, we get caught in the vast cycle of birth and death. Due to the effects of our action, we take birth again and again in various bodies, which is quite strange. केनापि पुण्यकर्म विशेषेण भगवतः श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवस्य अपरिमितया कृपया इदानीन्तन मनुष्य जन्म प्राप्तवताम्. Yet, due to some good action, with the extreme and immeasurable compassion and grace of Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, we have been blessed with a human body. Samesham iha janmani purva janmani janma janmantareshu sarvaihi kritanam shiva ninda devi ninda guru ninda dosha vyapohartam shiva parada devya parada guru parada dosha vyapohartam. Any kind of abuse we may have done to Paramashiva, Parashakti and Guru in the present birth, past birth or any of the births be removed. Any kinds of crimes or offences committed against Paramashiva, Parashakti and Guru be removed. Brahma Hatya, Surapana, Swarnasteya, Gurutalpa Gamana, Tatsansargakya, Panchamahapatakadi, Samastapapa Vetiriktartham. Let the 5 great sins like killing a Brahman, drinking prohibited alcohol, stealing gold, having illicit relationship with Guru's wife, one's own mother, elder sister, other such motherly figures, and associating with those people who have committed one or the other mentioned sins be removed. अपि च सर्वै बाल्ये वयसि कौमारे यौवने वार्धक्ये च. Let all the karmic effects of action done as a child, adolescent, youth and as an old age person, जाग्रत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति अवस्थासु. Let all the karmic effects of action done in the dream, wakeful and deep sleep state, कर्मेन्द्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय व्यापारैः संभावितानां. Let all the sins done through the 5 organs which
perform action like speech, hands, feet, excreting, and reproductive organs and jnanendriyas, that is the five organs which receive information like ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin.
Rahasyakratanam, Prakashakritanam, Atipatakanam, Upapatakanam, Sankalikarananam, Malikarananam, Apadrikarananam, Jati Bramshakanam, Prakinitanam, Evam Navanam, Navavidhanam, Bahunam, Bahuvidhanam, Sarvesham, Papanam, Sadhyaha. Let the sins which are done openly or secretly, the greatest of the great sins,
Minor of the minor sins, multiple sins, sin like raping a woman, unjustifiable sins, sin of destroying system, narrow-minded sins, such 9 sins and 9 types of sins, more sins and more types of sins be removed immediately and instantly.
Apanodana dwara samasta mangala praptyartam Shiva bhakti devi bhakti guru bhakti siddhyartam Paramashivatva Paramashiva Paramashiva Shakti siddhyartam.
Let the sins which were through the removal of sins, let us be showered with all auspiciousness. Let Paramashiva Bhakti, Devi Bhakti, Guru Bhakti be obtained. Let the state space powers of Paramashiva be obtained.
Kutumbe sarvada sanmangala praptyartam anyonya prema viridhyartam purnanatva siddhyartam sarva panivrityartam.
Let the whole family always be showered with all auspiciousness. Let mutual love bloom among all the people. Let completion happen. Let all the mishap be removed.
Kshiprarogya ayurviridhyartam purnatva siddhyartam sarva panivrityartam.
Let healthy body be obtained instantly and immediately. Let longevity be bestowed.
Vyapare udyoge cha sarvajana vashikaranartam tadvara unnato natasthana praptyartam.
Let your charisma impress everyone in business and job, and through that let you attain the best of the best position.
Bahudana saukya praptyartam griha kanaka pashuputra pautra dhanadanya saukya praptyartam.
Let extremely wealthy and happy life happen. Let various be well showered upon in the form of household, cattle, children, grandchildren, money, grains, and all the comforts related to worldly life.
Adityadinam navanam grahanam dosha pida nivaranartam Adityadinam navanam grahanam anukulyata siddhyartam.
Let all the malefic effects of the 9 planets be removed, and let the auspiciousness be bestowed by the grace of all the 9 planets. Bhumyantarikshe vidyamana bhuta preta pishacha rakshasa brahma rakshasa
Vetala Kushmanda
Dakini Shakini Ityadi Sarvarishta Nivaranartam. Let all the evil effects that cause calamities on planet Earth, the evil effects from various demonic beings like Bhuta, Preta, dead people, Pishacha, demons, Rakshasa, Brahma Rakshasa, Vetala, Ghost, Kushmanda, class of demons, Dakini, little devil, Shakini, kind of female demon be removed. Manovyakulata nivaranartam, let the mental confusion and worry be removed. Prarabdhe karmani karishyamane karmani adidaivika adibhautika adhyatmika vigna nivaranartam. Let all the obstacles be removed with regard to actions that are going to be done relating to God, world and spirituality. Samasarana nivaranartam dhana lakshmi, dhanya lakshmi, santana lakshmi, saubhagya lakshmi, vidya lakshmi, shaurya lakshmi, veera lakshmi, vijay lakshmi, ityadi ashlakshmi, paripurna kripa kataksha siddhyartam. Let all the loans be removed. Let all the Ashtalakshmis like Dhana Lakshmi, wealth,
Dhanya Lakshmi, food and grain, Santana Lakshmi, offspring, Saubhagya Lakshmi, fortune, Vidya Lakshmi, knowledge, Shaurya Lakshmi, bravery,
Veera Lakshmi, heroism,
Vijay Lakshmi, success be showered upon. Pariksha Sunnata Sthane Vijaya Praptyartam Sarva Vidya Parangata Siddhyartam Medha Shakti Grana Shakti Abhivridyartam. Let the top rank be obtained in the nation. Let all the excellence be acquired in the fields of knowledge. Let the memory, power, understanding, ability be increased. Ityadi Sakalavinda Sanmangalani Guru Kripa Katakshena Praptyartam. By the grace of the ruler, let all the auspicious be showered upon. Shri Kailasonata Dvadashanta Shyamala Pita Ruda, the one who ascended at Madhurayadinam, Shamala Peetham, the Peetham established by Devi Meenakshi, the incarnation of Shamala Devi, which is the supreme place of Kailasa, where Parameshwara resides and rules the whole cosmos and Kailasa.
Shri Meenakshi Sundareshwara Bhinna Swarupa Parashivoputra Ratna Kumara.
The one who was no different from Meenakshi Sundareshwara, the most beloved son of Paramashiva, the young boy. Gurumanya Tulyavatara, Shri Parvati, Sanyapana Labda Divya Jnana Vishrita Sakala Nigama
Gamasaruputa Dravida Veda
Pravartre, the young boy who was a gem among gurus and unequaled avatar, the one who received enlightenment by drinking the breast milk of Devi, the author of famous Dravida Veda, it's the essence of all Vedas and Agamas, Srimad Parameshwara Karuna Samadhikata Bhuktame Chatrashayana Dhiyamana Chatra Shri Chinna Kahaladi Samasta Birada Valyalankrita Jnana Jnana Chakravarti, the one adorned by quadrangular palanquin made of pearl, received by the grace of Parameshwara, adorned by musical instruments, umbrella, chamber, the sacred symbols of worship, etc. Adorned by the hands of praises, the one who has won the whole world by his enlightenment and the science of enlightenment and has been accepted by all kings, the supreme ruler. Sarvajana Sangha Satyo Nirvana Diksha Vyapavarga Varsha Vishrana Jimuta Paramatalabhake Sari, the shower of Videha Mukti and immutable state of enlightenment, immediately by Nirvana Diksha to all people.
The one who creates bliss, protecting leader, the roaring lion and trumpeting young elephant, father religions.
Shaiva Siddhanta
Stapana Acharya Shri Rajadiraja Pandya Maharaja Guru Parashakti Adi Mahandakara Nivarana Jnana Bhanu
Shana Narhara Jochedana Purvaka Srimad Rishvadvaja Stapaka Shaiva Samaya Katre, the Acharya who established Shaiva Siddhanta, the Rajaguru of the Pandya king, who is the supreme king of all kings, the Guru who is also the Pandya king, the supreme king of all kings, the enlightening sun that removes utter darkness at delusion.
The one who installed the Rishabha flag, the creator and reviver of Shaivism.
Sarvajna Peetharuda Shri Jagat Guru Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Swami Vagisha Sundara
Manikya Vachaka Swamina
Avatar Bhuta Shri Jnana Sambandha Swami Puradrita Shamala Peetha Sarvajna Peetha Trinavasitra Dishtama Guru Mahasannidhana, the one who is the ruler of Sarvajna Peetha, the seat of omniscience, O the avatar of such mentioned all attributes, the Guru of the whole world, Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Swami Apasha Sundarar
Manikya Vachaka Swami,
O the
ruler of the kingdom of enlightenment, the Shamala Peetha Mahasamastana, which was revived by Jnana Sambandha Swami. O the one who has ascended the seat of omniscience, the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhana, Arunagiri Yogishwara Paramparagata Arunachala Sarvajna Peetha Guru Mahasannidhana, the one who has ascended the seat of Arunachala Sarvajna Peetha in the lineage of Arunagiri Yogishwara. Kailasa Paramparagata Kanchi, Kailasa Sarvajna Peetha, Traisam Chaluttara Dishtama Guru Mahasannidhana, the one who has ascended the seat of Kanchi, Kailasa Sarvajna Peetha, has 233rd pontiff in the lineage of Kailasa. Nityosava Nityamangala Nityakalyanam Tirtha Kailasa Paramparagata Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Peetha Mahasamastana Mahasimhasana Peetha Gayatre, the creator of the Nithyananda Peetha Mahasamastana Mahasimhasana Peetha, is eternally celebrating the auspicious festival having the attractive energy of enriching Sakshat Shri Parameshwara Samadbhuta Kailasa Paramparagata Vaivasvata Manaksha Korichandra Bhagirata Shri Ramachandra Shurasena Ityadyanavachinna Sarvabhauma Chakradi Paramparagata Chatushashti Yogini Mandita Chatushashti Sampradaya Pravartaka Manudharma Shasana Suryavamsha Prapta Sarvajna Peetha Surangi Samrajya Mudha Vishikta Chudamani Sakshat Shri Parameshwara Samudbhuta Kapila Mahaguru Punarudhrita Mahanirvani Peetha Ashtottara Sahasra Shri Mahamandaleshwara. The 1008 Shri Mahamandaleshwara of Mahanirvani Peetha established by Bhagavan Parameshwara himself and revived by Sage Kapila Sakshat Shri Parameshwara Simhasana Abhishekta Samasaranayaka Mahaganapati Samarambha Navachinna Peethadishwara Guru Parampara Prapta Adala Peetha Ashtottara Sahasratam Ashtottara Sahasra Shri Atala Peethadishwara. The 1008 Shri Atala Peethadishwara of Atala Peetha, which has an unbroken lineage of pontiffs starting from Bhagavan Mahaganapati, who is a leader of the Ganas and who was coronated by Bhagavan Parameshwara himself. Dharma Mukti Sarga Puraswarna Peetha Tayo Vimsha Guru Mahasannidhana, the 23rd Guru Mahasannidhana of Dharma Mukti Sarga Puraswarna Peetha. Kailasa Parampara Adipita Sarvajna Peetha Jagat Guru, the Jagat Guru of Adipita Sarvajna Peetha in the lineage of Kailasa. Shri Kailasa Punaruddharaka Shri Kailasa Paramacharya Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Varya Satchidananda Pranava Swarupa Shrotriya Brahmanishta Srimad Jagat Guru Srila Shri Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swaminam Prityakam, who is in the state of Paramahamsa, the Acharya of all sannyasis and Parivrajakas, the embodiment of pure truth consciousness and bliss,
the embodiment of sacred cerebral Om, the knower of the Vedas, the one who's establishing the super consciousness, Tesham Padaravindayo Siddhyartam, Kshemasthairia Virya Vijaya Airarogya Aishwaryanam Viridhyartam, Dharmata Kamoksha Palapurushartha Siddhyartam, Namaso Sudritopashantyartam, समस्त मंगलावाप्त्यर्थं भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमेश्वर प्रसादेन सकुटुम्बस्य ज्ञान वैराग्य जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थं च श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवस्य श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूत सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपस्य भगवतः श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवस्य च ध्यान षोडशोपचार सर्वोपचार अर्चनाराधना पूजां प्रार्थना करिष्ये। ओम आनंद गंधनिलयाय नमः।
ओम भवरोग भेषजाय नमः।
ओम कल्पतरवे नमः।
ओम पशुपतये नमः।
ओम पाशविमोचकाय नमः।
दीप्सितफलदायकाय नमः।
भाग्यवृत्तिपरिवर्तकाय नमः।
आधिर्व्याधि विनाशकाय नमः।
ओम समस्त कल्याण गुणान्विताय नमः।
ओम बुद्धिपुरीशाय नमः।
ओम श्री कैलासपतये नमः।
ओम शिवशक्त्यैक्य स्वरूपाय नमः।
ओम ह्रीं नित्यानंदाय नमः।
ओम हां हौं शिवाय नमः।
ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूत सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय श्री श्री भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ओम नित्यानंदम।
In this same space of meditation, straight line, connect to your inner Sundareshwara Parameshwara Paramburu. Let us all get ready to receive the darshan of your inner Sundareshwara Paramburu.
Now, before entering into meditation, let's all take a few minutes and chant the Shiva Purana and learn its meaning.
The Shiva Puranam is a beautiful composition by Bhagavan Manikavachagar, one of the great incarnations, and a beautiful saint who spread Shaivism, who revived Shaivism, and who was an ardent devotee of Bhagavan Paramashivoham. And in his compositions, the Manivasagam and his Tamil compositions, the Shiva Puranam is a part of it, and it's a very, very, very beautiful chant which is sung out of devotion.
Namachivaya Varga Nadantal Varga Imai Purudum Yen Nengil Nigadantal Varga Namachivaya Varga Nadantal Varga Imai Purudum Yen Nengil Nigadantal குருமனிதந்தால் வாழ்க ஆகமம் ஆகின்ற அன்னிப்பாந்தால் வாழ்க ஏகன் அநேகன் இறைவன் அடி வாழ்க வேகம் கெடுத்தாண்ட வேந்தன் அடி வெல்க ஏகன் அநேகன் இறைவன் அடி வாழ்க வேகம் கெடுத்தான் வேந்தன் அடி வெல்க
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Shivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.